In this video, we are going to look at an example on how to find the upper and lower bounds of a polynomial. So there's one thing we need to remember when we're looking for the bounds. First of all, that is, what is the easy definition for upper and lower bounds? So first, let's start with the lower bounds. When we're talking about a lower bound, we are looking essentially for alternating signs. So with alternating signs, what I'm talking about is when we run synthetic division. So we're gonna find a value, we're gonna synthetically divide, and we want to look at the new equation we get. And if the signs are alternating, then we found essentially our lower bound polynomial. Now to find the upper bound, what we want is we want all positive coefficients. Okay, so when we again synthetically divide, we want all of our values to be positive. That tells you you have found an upper bound. Now the very first thing that you want to do is you want to find your real zeros. And the easiest thing to do is going to be to use your calculator. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here is we want to know your real zeros, because that is going to give us the pool that we are going to use in order to pull from. Okay, so you would take your much like this one and you would input your equation. So you can see I've already done that. And then you would go over here to graph. Now, if you look at my graph, obviously I have zoomed it in very close so that I could definitely see where my zeros are. So the zeros again are these x-intercept points. And now what we want to do is we want to actually list them. So again, one way we can do that is you go second trace, see, brings up the calc. And then we're going to come right here to 0. So we're going to go down to 2 and hit enter. And what it's doing is it's asking me for the left bound of my potential 0 points. So we're going to start with one of them. So so you can see the little blinking X, and so we want to bring that over so that it's on the left hand side of the first 0 that we want to look at. So once you do that, you click enter, and now you need to put in the right bound. So we're going to take that little blinking light and we're going to arrow it so it's on the right hand side point, and ask you to is you want to guess that your 0, enter will give you that. You hear that that 0 is at, so we know that our real zeros, one of them is at -1. Okay, and we have 2 more to find, so we're going to repeat the process 2 more times. So we're going to go second, get to our calc, go down to our 0, and now we're going to take this arrow and we're going to bring it over again so it's on the left hand side of that intercept point, and we're going to hit enter. We're going to bring it down over to the right hand side and hit enter. Then we're going to guess, and it tells us we're at -1/2. And then the third one is way over here. So we're going to go ahead and do this one last time. And we're going to go second calc, down to 0. And we're going to bring this down until we see it approach back up. You can tell it's on its way back up because you can see that the Y values are decreasing in number. So we'll just keep arrowing it up until we see it. So here you can see it. So we're going to click enter. It's on the left. We're going to arrow it one more. Notice my Y value is now positive, so we're on the right hand side. And enter one more time, and it's going to tell us where we are, and we are at the value 3. Okay? So that's the first thing we need to do, is we need to find those real zeros. Alright, now we're going to focus on one bound at a time. So let's start with the upper bound. So in order to find the upper bound, we're going to run synthetic division. So we're going to start by making our box. And we're going to look at our 0, and we're looking for the highest or largest 0 that we have. And that's where we want to start. So that's going to be a 3. And then we're going to go ahead and put in our coefficients. We have 2, -3, -8, -3. Again, remember, you set it up, draw your arrow down, put your solution bar underneath, and we're going to go ahead and run synthetic division. Okay, so here we're going to drop the 2 down. 2, so bottom times the box goes underneath. So this is 6. Add them together, and we get 3. Bottom times the box is going to be 9. Add them together gives us 1. Bottom times the box is 3. Add them together gives us 0. Okay. Now here we're not looking for factors, so it does not matter what this last term becomes. We're just looking at the now one thing to note here is if we look here, we have that all signs are positive. Since all signs are positive, what this tells us is that we have an upper bound at 3. We got lucky that time. Now that you found an upper bound, we have to find the lower. So we're going to look at our zeros again, and we are going to look at the smallest, most negative. So that would be the -1. So we're going to go ahead and start a synthetic with that. So we're going to set it up here. We're going to put in our -1. We're going to go to the original equation, so these coefficients here, and we're going to use those. 2, -3, -8, -3. Bring it down. Add our solution, and let's go. Drop the 2. 2 times the -1 goes underneath, so this is -2. Then we're going to do vertical addition here again, so we've got -5. Times the box gives us 5. Run your addition, you get a -3. Bottom times the box is going to give us 3. Run addition, you get 0. Again, it doesn't matter that you got 0. What matters is we're looking at the signs. Now if you look here, we go positive to negative, to negative, to positive. So this right here, if we're just looking at this, these are not alternating. What that means is that -1 is not a lower bound. Since it's not a lower bound, we have to find the lower bound. So from -1, we're going to go one number lower. So we're going to set up synthetic one more time, only this time now we're going to use -2. Again, we're going to use the same, so -2, -3, -8, -3. We're going to drop down. So here 2 goes down. Bottom times the box goes under -4. Add them together, we get, and this gives you 14. Add them together gives us +6. Bottom times the box is a -12. Add them together gives us -15. When you look at this, notice positive to negative to positive to negative. These are alternating. This means your lower bound equals -2. Now we do have a very important way that we write our bounds, and we write them in what kind of looks like notation. So your bounds here, you're going to open a bracket, you're going to go your lower to the upper and close it. Okay. So here you've got -2 to 3 and close it. Okay. So that's really all that you would need to know about trying to find upper and lower bounds. Okay. So again, you're going to find your real zeros. After you find your real zeros, you're going to test your upper bound by looking at your largest, most positive number. And you want to make sure that all the signs after running synthetic division are positive. Then to test for your lower bound, you're going to start with your lowest, most negative value, and you're going to run synthetic division, and you're looking for alternating signs. Remember, in either case, either upper or lower bounds, if your 0 is not the bound, then you will either go one more positive or one more negative and test your synthetic again. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed this short video, and I will see you next time.